Hey everyone, it's Pastor Joe Drew, and it is the last What's My Assignment Wednesday. It's hard to believe we're in week 5. This is it. It is crunch time. And I'm going to go over just a couple things for week 5. Please follow this video all the way through. I'm going to give you some bonus insight just for watching this video. And that can save you a lot of work from trying to figure some things out when it comes to the assignment. Let me start out with the verse in week 5. It's out of Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. It says, "Therefore, since we have so great a cloud of witnesses surrounding us, let us also lay aside every encumbrance and the sin which so easily entangles us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us." What a great spiritual goal every day, right? To run towards Christ and to have nothing holding you back. No hang-ups, no hurts, no sins, whatever it is, that you're able to lay those aside through the power of Christ, die to yourself, and just run towards Christ every day. And you got all of heaven cheering you on. What a great thought that is. So let me go down here to the discussion. So as we are in the New Testament in week 5, as well as we were in week 4, week 5 discussion is going to surround itself around the righteousness of God. So the original post on page 344 and 345 of the textbook, Discovering the Bible, the author discusses the righteousness of God. How does the book of Romans show that God is righteous? Be specific in your responses and provide scripture passages to support your thoughts. So here's what it's not asking. It's not asking you to write about how you're made righteous by God through Jesus Christ. It's not asking that. It's asking, how does the book of Romans show that God is righteous? Okay. So anyway, there's a couple places to look. Obviously, the book of Romans, it's asking you to go there, but then pages 344 and 345 in the textbook. Okay. And remember, and by now, you guys obviously have this down. If you want full credit for your discussions, get that original post out by day 3. Have 3 response posts, 2 reflection posts. Use references in all your posts and do it on 3 separate calendar days. And you're going to get 100 on that. So, and for those of you who continue to do that, thank you so much. As I go through the discussions each week, and I believe I respond to every single person that, by name, I put you in those discussions. And ask questions and have you guys respond back. I love reading those discussions, and you guys have such great conversations and feedback back and forth to each other, so that's awesome. Okay, week 5 assignment. It's called New Testament Writings, and it says, after reading this week's material, select one of Paul's letters, one pastoral epistle, and one general epistle, and write a 750 to 1,000 word essay that covers the following for each. Okay, so let me throw this out here that it seems to be there's a typo in the curriculum because it can be very confusing. What it's asking is select one of Paul's prison letters, and then one of Paul's pastoral epistles, and then one of Paul's general epistles. Okay, so here's the bonus for you guys. I'm about to identify which books in the Bible are which, okay? So let's start with Paul's prison epistles. That's going to be the book of Ephesians, the book of Colossians, the book of Philemon, and the book of Philippians. Those are the prison epistles. And so let's go over the pastoral epistles. The pastoral ones, these are ones written to pastors. The other ones are Paul wrote those while he was in prison. This one he writes to pastors. And that's there's 3 of them. There's 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy, and the book of Titus. And then there's Paul's general epistles. And Paul's general epistles are going to be the book of Romans, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, and Galatians. And that's Paul's general epistles, okay? Do not get those confused with other general epistles. There are other general epistles, but they weren't written by Paul. Other general epistles that sometimes people try to put this in because our book talks about general epistles being the book of Hebrews, the book of James, 1st and 2nd Peter, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John, and the book of Jude. I'm not looking for those books. We're looking at specifically Paul's writings. So you're going to choose one of Paul's prison letters, one of Paul's pastoral epistles, and one of Paul's general epistles. Okay, so rewind this video if you need to go back and see which ones those are. 750 to 1,000 word essay on that. And here's the questions you're going to answer for each of those. So you're going to answer these questions 3 different times because you're choosing 3 different books: a prison letter, a pastoral letter, and a general one. So what was the problem in the letter epistle addressed? Identify at least one theme of the letter epistle. Who was the audience of the letter epistle? How does the message of the letter epistle apply to us today? And what letter epistle is your favorite and why? So that's what we're looking for. Let me go over to the rubric though real quick. And let's just make sure that you know exactly how to get full credit for your work. I'm going down to the sources here on your rubric. It's the second box to your right. And on your resources, it says document contains 4 or more citations from the textbook or an additional academic resource and 4 or more citations from scripture for all the selected letters or epistles. Okay. So we're looking for 8 citations that you're going to give references to. We need 8. If you do more than that, that's great. If you do less than that, points get knocked off. And so do 8 and get all the points coming to you. I'm looking for all those questions to be answered in your content. And notice this: if you don't use all your references, like let's say you do 6 references instead of 8, that affects your content. Okay. It affects that as well. And so the content here talks about the questions being asked. I just went over those, so all those 5 questions. And down at the bottom of content, it says responses are detailed and explanations demonstrated an excellent understanding of course material. Okay. The next one is APA, title page. For the most part, you guys do well with the title page. By now, you know exactly what I'm looking for. If I've corrected your page, you know that. It's just a standard APA title page. But APA has changed. So we're going with the latest edition. So whatever you used to do, APA has changed what is needed on the title page. So make sure you have a good title page, good reference page, and then your citations are done correctly. And that's everything for week 5. If you have questions, and it goes without saying, you guys have continued to do this, let me know, reach out to me. I cannot accept any late work after the last day of class. The only time I can accept late work is if it's a crisis, and I'm talking emergency crisis, okay? So I know some emails may come my way that I had to work late, or, you know, time management got away from me or whatever. There's nothing I can do about that. The day the class closes, I can't accept any more of your work, okay? If a crisis does come up, reach out to me and I'll let you know if it's a crisis or not. Most likely you already know if it's a crisis. But sometimes there's some misunderstanding on what's an actual emergency, okay? And so anyway, I just want to throw that out there. It's been great. I'll say more of a goodbye later this week. But that's Wednesday night, and that's your assignment.